What's up, food friends, fresh and frozen? Hope everyone's doing great out there. I want to talk about cooking equipment this week for beginning home cooks. The whole idea is to get away from ultra processed and fast foods, and we need equipment to do that. Wanted to get this out now, and I'll be back to recipes next weekend. We're going to start off with our biggest expenses, pots, pans, and knives. For pots and pans, I've absolutely fallen in love with these Calphalon anodized aluminum non-stick pans. It's one of the few times you're going to hear me recommend a brand directly. Cheaply made pans will not cook the same, and they're going to discourage you from cooking. These heat quickly and evenly, they have a strong non-stick coating, and they get hot enough to sear meat. You see me use these in all my videos. I recommend a small frying pan and a large one. You're also going to need a small sauce pot and then a large pot for soup, stews, and pasta. I really recommend buying a set. It's cheaper, it works out better, and they come with covers. You'll get everything you need. I ruined the non-stick pot that came with this set making carrot dill soup. I then went and bought the enamel cast iron pot to replace it. Knives are a lot like the pots and pans, and I recommend spending a little bit of money here. Cheaply made and dull knives cause way more injuries than a sharp knife is ever going to do. If you've got the money, much like the pots, I recommend buying a set because you're going to get everything you need. But if you want just the bare minimum, I recommend at least a chef's knife and a paring knife. You can do almost anything with these two. Henckels, Wusthof, and Global are really reliable knife brands. You're also going to want a couple of baking trays. These are really nothing special. They're as cheap as they get. They often come in pairs. My other's actually in the dishwasher right behind me. But don't get cookie baking trays. These are totally different. They don't have a lip. They don't cook the same. You're also going to want a roasting tray with high walls. This is for baking, roasting, or anything with a sauce or juice that's going to cook that way. And of course, you're going to want a wood cutting board and stay away from those plastic ones. It doesn't have to be this large, but this suits my needs. You're also going to want a high heat scraper for scraping pots and bowls, one that won't melt, a good pair of tongs for grabbing food, and then all the spoons, ladles, spatulas, etc. You can get those just as part of a set. They always come like all boxed. Just avoid metal so that you're not scraping your non-stick. And eventually you're also going to want to get a nice whisk for mixing and whipping stuff up. You're also going to want to look into getting some small scrapers, maybe a small pair of tongs, and you're definitely going to want a vegetable peeler. I just bought this newer, wider one and I'm using it for everything, but the smaller one works really well on carrots. And you're definitely going to want to get a set of measuring cups and spoons. You'll buy them in a set, and they're really important for following recipes. Can't say enough about a good strainer as well. I use it for everything: pasta, rice, washing vegetables, everything. Wooden spoons are a classic. They work well for cooking since they don't scrape, and they can take high heat really well. Sorry for the shaky cam here, but I thought of a few things late and ran downstairs really fast to go film them. You're definitely going to want to get a box grater and a digital thermometer. These two are a must. Eventually, maybe a glass measuring cup for hot liquids and a basting brush. I also can't say enough about my micro grater. I use it for everything: cheeses, garlic, chocolate, you name it. You're also going to want a mixing bowl or a set. I recommend either stainless steel or glass. These are both non-reactive materials, so acids in food won't affect them, and they're really, really easy to keep clean. In the long term, you're probably also going to want to get a wand or immersion blender, and I recommend one with a small food processor attachment. This way you get two purposes with one purchase. And you all know from all my videos, I love my wand blender. I use it for soups, sauces, all kinds of things. And obviously you don't need everything in this video to start. You can collect these tools over time, and I didn't really even cover half the stuff I've got in my own kitchen. At a bare minimum, you're going to want to get a couple of good pots and pans, a couple good knives, some baking trays, some minimum utensils, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a mixing bowl, the thermometer, and a grater. Either the box or the micro grater, I recommend both, but one or the other will do. Hope this video helps answer some of your questions about what equipment you need to start cooking at home. It is an investment, but it's an investment in your health, and it can be done over time. I'll be back with recipes next week. I got some good stuff planned. Keep being awesome, everyone. Peace.